In this video, we are covering how to make shiitake grow blocks at home. While typically this process is done with sterilization equipment and a clean lab setup, you can also create these blocks at home without any of the extra equipment. All it takes is hardwood fuel pellets, which are available at most hardware stores, bran, autoclavable bags, water, mushroom spawn, and a little bit of patience. We do carry a kit that includes everything that we've linked in the description below. For each block, you will need a filter patch bag, 5 cups of hardwood fuel pellets, and 1/2 cup of bran. Mix the hardwood fuel pellets and bran into the filter patch bag. Add 5 cups of boiling water. Some things to note here. First, the bag is meant to withstand sterilization, which is prolonged time under pressure at up to 245 degrees Fahrenheit, so boiling water is no problem. Second, boiling water is still hot, so please use caution. Once the appropriate amount of water is added, roll down the top 3 inches of the bag, trapping some air, and shake the bag to hydrate all of the particles. You'll notice that the fuel pellets and bran have turned into a nice sawdust mix. Fold the bag over, tucking the excess top flap of the bag under, and let it cool for at least 12 hours to ensure the substrate has fully cooled. After the mix has fully cooled, you can add your shiitake mushroom grain spawn. Keep in mind that shiitake grain spawn is going to look lightly myceliated. That's completely fine. That's exactly how it should look, so don't be alarmed if it doesn't have a really heavy coat of white mycelium. This part is traditionally done under a flow hood, but you can get around needing that investment by using a high inoculation rate. Now, if you have a flow hood, by all means use it. But if you don't, it'll be completely fine as long as you aren't actively breathing or sneezing into the bag. Add 1.5 cups of grain spawn. Again, roll down the bag about 3 inches and then shake, aiming to evenly disperse the grain throughout your sawdust mix. After shaking, rubber band the top section of the bag above the filter patch. Make sure the filter patch is unobstructed so that your shiitake mycelium can breathe. Now the patience aspect comes into play. Shiitake blocks take about 12 weeks to fully mature. Place your freshly inoculated bags in an area that remains somewhere around 72 degrees. Over the next 12 to 16 weeks, you can monitor your blocks, but it's best to not move them. After a week or two, you'll start to see some wispy white mycelium beginning to grow. After several weeks, the substrate within the bag will begin to rope. Roping, or popcorning, is the first stage of the process we call barking over. Barking over creates a protective layer and pressure pad that will allow the shiitake to fruit. The ropes pushing up against the sides of the bag allow for slightly more airflow, allowing the block to move into the next stage, which is where the blocks start to brown over. Keep in mind, every now and then, a block will not brown over for one reason or other, usually related to airflow, but don't worry, because a white block will still produce mushrooms. Over the next several weeks, most blocks will continue to brown over. During this process, you may notice a buildup of brown liquid inside the bag. This is normal, just leave it be. Regardless of the color of the block, we recommend waiting 12 weeks before you open your shiitake blocks. You can open them sooner, but you will have better quality mushrooms if you wait until the 12 to 16 week mark when they've reached their full maturity. When the time comes to open them, it's best to open the blocks over a sink or another drain, as many of the blocks will have a decent amount of that brown liquid buildup. Place your blocks on a shelf in an area that can maintain growing conditions of at least 85% humidity and temperatures close to 68 degrees. It's helpful to use an open gridded shelf, as this will allow the mushrooms to grow in any direction. After opening, you will start to see mushroom pins in 5 to 7 days. Wait to harvest the mushrooms until the caps are open and the gills are about 80% exposed.